Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments. Lord willing, every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll come together and subscribe. That way you'll get it every week. It's not a sermon, no preaching. I'm going to rap. Now I want to talk to you about things that come up as I travel every week of the world. And God's been so good to me. And by the way, pray about these clinics in Central South America. Brother Sergio Ali came to our clinic in Texas for decades, and he has started these in Central South America, asked me to come, but because of my wife's serious health problems, she was really a little fearful of me leaving the country and getting kidnapped somewhere. Who would want to kidnap me? But she was worried, and she wanted to be, of course, there for her, and what a great wife she was, but couldn't do it. And Brother Ali would say to me, these people down here don't think you're real. So I tell them about the clinic in Texas and about what you're teaching and so on. They don't think you're real. You need to come. You need to come. Well, finally I'm able to come. And so we've great success, wonderful, wonderful success with these clinics. And so that's in Central and South America. My next trip is to Thailand. What's that time? Next trip is to Monterrey. No, we're going to Mexico, but it's not Dr. Kevin Wynn, probably the greatest church builder in the world and tremendous, the largest church in the world. And what a great man of God. If you don't support him, you should. But I'm going to a church in Monterrey, Mexico. It's the second largest church, not only in Mexico, but in the world. So tremendous. Avila, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I had never met him until my conference in Nicaragua, I think it was. I've been in several Central South America. I think it was Nicaragua, but he shook my hand into a translator and talked to me, and what he said, what an influence to me that we've had over his ministry. And then he showed me a video, and I thought, my goodness, it looks like Kevin Wynn's crowd. But anyway, we'll be there October 13, 14, and 15 in Monterrey, Mexico. Looking forward to it. Excited about it. But these are, and the Just a Thought series that I put out, 10 volumes, 900 chapters, and 2,790 pages, is helping finance that trip. One ticket, I couldn't believe when Trish told me, but $1,700 plus on one trip, and the next one, $1,400. Ridiculous. Well, we finally got the latest here down to 574, but these churches don't have any money to be able to fly me in, take care of me, and so on. So, Lord willing, as long as I'm able to get the money, I'm going. I'm anxious, and I can't wait. And I think I've got 3, if not 4 more after this next trip before the year's out. Looking forward to going to Costa Rica. One of our graduates is Dale Bradley is there. Looking forward to seeing him and his family. Anyway, this is exciting. So the things that we taught in Texas are being taught now around the world. These men who've carried on, and I'm just grateful. Enough of the blabber, the uh, the Kmart special, But anyway, get that series, 10-volume series, Just a Thought. 900 chapters. Good night. If I were a young preacher, I'd get my hands on that. $200, and it goes to pay for airfare for these meetings, these clinic meetings. Anyway, here we go. Today, boys and girls, I want to talk to you about unity versus union. Unity versus union. So I hope that you'll get your pen out, jot some things down. And this comes from having conversation with a Southern Baptist pastor, a good man. I was in the American Baptist denomination for 15 years, and I learned that being prepared and educated has a lot to do with success in the ministry. And until I met Dr. John Rice, Dr. Hiles, until I went to Michigan State University to be a general business degree and taught. I worked at Fisher Body General Motors for 7 years and loved every bit of it. Oh boy, when I went to a sword conference in South Bend, Indiana, my heart was, I wept, I cried, I laughed. Dr. John Rice and Dr. Jack Hiles, what a tremendous meeting. And I hit that altar. I've been spend the rest of my life balancing out a P&L statement. I wanted to do what I could to keep people from going to hell and do something. I don't know what it means to be called to preach. Don't jump on me as some have. I'm not belittling that. I thank God for it. I believe God's called it pretty wonderful. But I had no idea. And I talked to Dr. Weiss about it. Dr. Weiss said, well, volunteer. I said, can you do that? And he said, well, I did. He said, if God wants to stop you, he'll stop you. So I went off to Hyles Anderson College. I was a part of the first 4-year class at Hyles Anderson. And my wife was Dr. Evans' secretary, who was the chancellor of the college. And I worked on staff there towards the end. But of our time being there. And oh, did I learn so much. Oh, I learned so much. And then for 22 years, the Lord allowed me to preach with Dr. Hyles. Now, the first 11 years, not every week, but at least once a month. And the last 11, almost every week. And I had a great time, personal time with him and so on. But the Southern Baptist pastor asked me about denomination, being a part of a denomination, and asked some good questions about it. And so I came up with this thought, well, maybe I need to teach this. The word denomination is not found in the Bible. And there's a misunderstanding, the brethren dwell in unity. There's a misunderstanding about what the word unity, Bible terms, means, and how we have to be careful that we don't change the word unity to union. Okay, the local church, all the local churches are the espoused bride, Christ. There has to be a wedding first before there can be a bride. Rapture is going to take place. All will be taken out of here. There's going to be a marriage. There's going to be then a bride as a result. And then there's going to be a marriage supper of the Lamb. Got to tell you, in between there'll be a Super Bowl. The Cowboys won't be there, but no. But so there's no such thing as a universal bride. There's no such thing as a universal church. That's Catholicism, Protestantism. The word Catholic means universal and visible. It's what it stands for. It's what it is. But there's no such thing. And it's brilliant what God did. He glad to hear I approve. But I don't know how many, 42,000 Southern Baptist churches, according to the record. There are 18 to 20,000 independent Baptist churches, and you've got all kinds of denominations. I was in the American Baptist for 15 years, and we would go to the headquarters meeting, had an annual convention, and we would go, and then we would represent by vote whether we were for or against what the denomination was espousing. Then they would vote on it. Southern Baptist doesn't even this day. American Baptist, I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But 42,000 Southern Baptist churches, 20,000 of them never had a convert last year. Not one baptism last year. So it is a heartbreaking thing to have all that money given, have all that energy and everything else, and then nobody getting saved. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I would always, as an accountant, but as an accountant, I would take the income and divide it by the baptism to see if we were being effective or not, because the baptism number is the only real number that tells about how many are getting saved and how many got the Sunday school program. So because of that, we looked at Nashville because of denominationalism. We give our stats, report the stats, and assimilate back to our own church. But the denominational is not in the Bible. Hammond is not our headquarters as Independent Baptist. Murfreesboro is not our headquarters. Longview is not our headquarters. Jacksonville, Florida, where I am now, great church, Emmanuel Baptist Church. Dr. Greg Neal, the pastor, great. You ought to come to the Preachers Delight Conference, October 6th to 9th this year. Oh, it's wonderful. And those you men that I preach for will have a special luncheon home on Tuesday morning. If you'll register, Preachers Delight Conference, you register and we'll pay for your motel for a week. Hey, can't beat that with a stick, can you? But we are gathering together as independent Baptist churches. And it's not a matter of union, but it's a matter of unity. The local church has to be in one place, one mind, one accord in order to be effective. In Acts chapter 1, there were 120 showed up in that prayer meeting room. And then the power of God came in Acts chapter 2. Now, it's not the people that don't show up that make a difference. It's the people who do show up that make a difference. Hundreds and hundreds had been saved before Acts chapter 1, but only 120 showed up for prayer. Result was in Acts chapter 2, 3,000 people got saved and baptized. It was not as a result of the people who didn't show up. Sometimes churches say, oh, we're so weak and we're such, the crowd's down, our power is down, our weight. No. 2 or 3 gather together, he said, be in the midst. Don't do that. It's not the people that don't show up. Don't sit and fret and wring your hands. Well, where were they? They should have been here. Well, this is going to be a lousy Sunday night service. Now, quit that. Quit that. It's the people that do show up that make a difference. In Longview Baptist Temple, we had 400 I went there. It split in March of 81. Another story I'll tell you about sometime about Lester Roloff and that what happened then. But anyway, we had 13 out on quote visitation on Thursday night. Nobody ever getting saved reportedly. And so I asked him one time, are people supposed to get saved on Thursday night? Oh no, they're supposed to be. It was so funny. But I'm just saying to you, it's not the people that don't show up that weaken you. It's the people who do show up that cause you to be weak. So it's unity. Get that word stuck in your head, not union. It's not, the only reason you have a denomination is so that you can have financial help for pastors, financial help in a local church that's weak and can't seem to get the thing going. But boy, we got all this 42,000 churches going to help us, support us, to help us get grounded on. I'm for giving offerings and helping people. We gave $9.3 million to missions in the 3 decades that I was at Longview, Longview Baptist Temple. I'm glad to do so. Started 1,700 plus churches, according to Richard Hitt, the head of our missions program. So we did that. I'm glad to do it. But that does not mean that there's to be a union of all churches coming together. But there is to be a unity in the local church. Faith Baptist Church in Burbank, Illinois, we had unity. Longview Baptist Temple, 3 decades, we had unity, not union. We conducted a national sorting clinic. People, all kinds of churches came. Every state in the union but one, if I recall that last year, maybe 2 years before that. But when we had people from around the world come. Now, I'm just saying that we came together not for union, not to vote on issues, not to proclaim we had a 99.9% vote against abortion. No. We are against it. But I'm saying to you, to strengthen the local church, there's unity there. It's brilliant what God did. If Murfreesboro goes bad, it doesn't affect us. It doesn't mean all the local independent Baptist churches go bad. If Nashville goes bad, and it has, that doesn't mean that all those churches now go bad because of the headquarters going bad. Not good. But the truth about it is we want unity in the local church, not union among churches. We don't want to become dependent. I remember a big building project we had. And it was such an amount of millions of dollars that the vice president of this national bank had been brought out several times at this, so I'll not mention it. But he and some of his associates came to Longview to talk to me, to meet with me about this potential loan. And I'll never forget one of the questions he asked me, this man, vice president for this big, gigantic bank. He said, look, I'm a Catholic. He said, we support each other. So in case somebody gets down financially, we will ride in on a white horse and rescue. But you're independent Baptist. I don't know what that is. Explain that to me. Well, I said, it's very easy to explain. We're indigenous. We control our own world. There's no head. Hammond does not control us. Nashville does not control us. Nobody controls us. We're indigenous. He said, explain more. I said, okay. Let's suppose that we're Catholic. Okay, he said. And I'm the priest for this area. And so I'm here. I've been assigned. I come here. And it's an anemic church. It's not doing very well. But all of a sudden, under my leadership, all of a sudden it grows and 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 it becomes this tremendous success. Now, as a Catholic denomination, you have a church over here in Louisiana struggling, can't get the thing, and I have to shut the doors. So I'm in headquarters in Rome, and I said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Hey, let's call that young man out of Longview and send him over there. Now, do I have a say as a Catholic? No, I'm on assignment. So now you yank me out of here and send me to Louisiana, then you get a bad leader here. Guess what happens? The thing goes down. And I said, be much better, wouldn't it, if each congregation were indigenous and independent? Wouldn't it be better that way rather than somebody over here controlling the leadership here? When I got through, he thought for a minute, looked at his two buddies. He said, you know what? I think you've taught me into being an independent Catholic. Now, unity is the secret. John 17, which is really the Lord's Prayer. Not praying for the world, praying for you. Who? This invisible body? No, there are only churches in the Bible. Ecclesia, if you believe, called out body of baptized believers. So we were called out from Sunday school to be taught to go back in the world, reach others to bring them back. And then we come back Sunday night, we're in the world now, can't help it. But we come to church, we're called out body of baptized believers. And then Sunday night, and then Wednesday night, and then soul winning. So we want unity, not union. Now, I don't mind praying for the brethren. I don't mind supporting the brethren. Don't mind that at all. I'm tickled to be able to support missionaries. Thrilled to be. I met a young man this past week in Michigan who's a missionary to Ukraine. Oh, I was so excited to meet him. The truth of the matter is, I don't know a missionary that's gone to Ukraine or going to Ukraine, but I met one. So I'm going to do everything I can, try to help him get the support he needs to go there. But he will get that support from a local congregation that has unity, not union. It's not Nashville that's going to decide whether he can go to Ukraine or not. God decide. And he has a sending church. It's on his little card, a sending church. So I cannot emphasize too much to you how important unity is, not union. I'm an independent Baptist. And there are a lot of crazy nuts out there that are independent Baptists, but that's their business. And they'll answer to God for it. But I'm not a part of their nuttiness or their heresy, not a part of it at all. Oh, but everybody wants to lump all the independent Baptists together because one goes bad, goes haywire. Well, I suggest to you that the Catholic Church is the worst of all when it comes to predatory behavior. I would suggest that that's true. I remember when they jumped on me when Brother Howes was being attacked. And I got a call from the Chicago Tribune. And one of their writers, one of their editors, not an editor, but one of their religious writers, said, I understand you're the spokesman for Jack Hyles. I said, no, I'm not a spokesman for Jack Hyles. He speaks for himself. Well, you're one of the rising stars in fundamentalism. I said, I know about that. He said, how are you handling this? I said, I'm not. I said, First Baptist Church of Hammond is handling it. The deacons are handling it. It's not a denomination. We're each an independent body. And he said, well, what are you going to do? Jack Hyles goes down and you're associated with him. I said, let me ask you a question. What are you going to do when Jack Hyles is raised up and you look bad? By the way, he was fired for plagiarism and lost his job later on. Please understand the emphasis of unity, not union. I don't want to be a part of what it called it. I'm not a Southwide member. I remember going to Dr. Lee Robertson's church where Southwide started. And I'm sitting there in the second row with some of my men. It's the first time I've ever been there. I went there because one of their speakers preached for me and he suggested I go. So I'm sitting there. So Monday night went great. Tuesday morning preaching went great. It was wonderful. My kind of guy. And then just before lunch, they said, now don't leave now because we're going to vote on the offices that need to be filled. President, I think they said vice president, secretary, treasurer. And I'm sitting there in the second row and I said to myself, ain't that something? I thought this was independent Baptist. I thought the highest office was that of pastor. What's going on here? And I had a couple of deacons with me and they looked at me and said, who are we voting for? I said, we're not voting for anybody. We stayed for the preaching that night. We packed up and left. No, I left that. There's no reason to vote in somebody as a president where that's you're unionizing. It becomes a union, not unity. Best thing in the world to do is go there, enjoy yourself, sing the songs, praise God, shout a while, give it an invitation, get right with God, and go home and do the work for God, not join something. So I never went back. Never been back, not going back. I don't want to be a part of something that creates an office. Might as well be Catholics or Methodists. Now, so I hope you're kind of getting the drift here. Looks like I'm wandering around the net. Well, I'm going to turn 80 here. So I guess I can wander a little bit. Okay, let me talk to you about this then. Unity versus union. There's no such thing, number one, no such thing as a universal invisible church. You've heard me say this a dozen times. When I married my wife, she was a visible bride. I was the visible groom. I have become more visible through the years. Terrible weight problem. I'm like Oprah, fat, skinny, fat, skinny, fat, skinny. I said, number one, no such thing as a universal invisible church. Number two, only local churches in the Bible, only local church bodies in the Bible. That's the only kind. There is no other kind. Only local church bodies in the Bible. Like you see, a called out body of baptized believers come together in Sunday school to be strengthened, to go back and win somebody to Christ and bring them back for baptism, add them, and keep going. Come back Sunday night, come back Wednesday night. Our big soul winning time is Thursday night. So we come back on Thursday night. You follow me? All right. So I said, number one, no such thing as a universal invisible church body. Number two, that's Catholicism and Protestantism. Number two, only local churches in the Bible, church bodies. Number three, each is independent and indigenous, self-rule. Self-rule. They vote their pastor in, vote their pastor out. Vote the deacons in, vote them out. So we're independent, indigenous, self-autonomy, and we vote, we care, we strengthen, and we keep going. Unity. All right. Number one, no such thing as universal invisible church body. Number two, only local church bodies in the Bible. Number three, each is independent and indigenous in the Bible, self-rule. Number four, only two offices, pastor and deacon. That's all you find in the Bible, pastor and deacon. Oh, so what about elder rule? Okay, elder is used in the Bible for simply to say they're not a novice. Being a novice is not ignorance of Scripture, it's ignorance of life. So, number one, no such thing as a universal invisible church body. Number two, only local church bodies in the Bible. Number three, each is independent and indigenous, self-rule. Number four, there are only two offices, pastor and deacon. Number five, and no elder ruled, and no deacon ruled either, by the way. Number five, a local church calls their pastor. They have that right, extend a call. When I went to Faith Baptist Church in Bourbon, Illinois, they voted, they called me, I accepted and became their pastor. 4 years there. Then in Texas, Longview, I then they extended a call to me as pastor, and I accepted. A whopping 76% vote. The the Constitution said 75. So, buddy, I roared in there. Then number 5, a local church calls their own pastor. Number 6, a local church chooses their own deacons. Number 7, best to rotate the deacons. I had changed our constitution where we had 1, 2, and 3-year terms. So depending on the vote that they got from the people. The top third got 3 years, middle, 2 years, lower, 1 year. So they would serve a year and then off the deacon board a year. I wanted to get them a chance to rest and back up. We had a big church. It was a large church. And so I wanted to do that. Then after 2 years, off a year. Then they could be voted back on. After 3 years, off and voted back on. Very important to understand. This way, it kept one mind, one accord, one purpose, one group to lead, not fractured leadership, but leadership that was unified. If I had a troublemaker, he was off a year, and his name came up the next year. We had the veto power. We'd bow our heads, and his name was on the board. And if he was a troublemaker, I'd raise my hand. Would one else see it? I said every head bowed opposed, but I wanted to veto that guy. I don't want. It's tough enough, Pastor, without fight with the deacons every time you turn around. It's tough enough, Pastor. All right. So we're talking about unity versus union. Okay. 1, no such thing as a universal invisible church body. Number 2, only local church bodies in the Bible. Number 3, each is independent and indigenous, have self-rule. Number 4, 2 offices, pastor and deacon. The term there's no such thing as elder rule in the Bible. Elders aren't in the Bible, but it means that you're not a novice. Number 5, a local church calls their pastor. They extend a call, pastor accepts or rejects. Number 6, the local church chooses deacons every year. We would vote on deacons. And again, the 1-year term, 2 and 3 off a year, and they could be voted back on. Number 7, best to rotate the deacons. I already mentioned that. Number 8, deacons serve under the direction of the pastor. Acts chapter 6, that it says that whom we may appoint over this business. So there are things that serve tables, there are things that need to be done. I gotta have help. We had 10,000 members. Okay, the church, half of them, I don't know where they were. And the IRS was looking for them too. But anyway, deacons serve. So I needed help. So sometimes we put a roof on a widow's house or somebody's house. We'd get one lady, husband died. I think it was $3,600 they were behind payment, but losing the house. Well, we raised the money one Wednesday night and paid that, got her caught up. And then he went over and mowed the lawn. Chairman of our deacon retired. He had Alzheimer's, very hard life. Alzheimer's is a terrible thing. Terrible thing. Anyway, the deacons rotated, went by and mowed his lawn, kept his lawn serviced and taken care of, right? We're talking about unity versus union. So number 1, no such thing as a universal invisible church body. That's Catholicism, it's Protestantism, it's not Bible. Number 2, only local church bodies in the Bible. Number 3, each is independent and indigenous or self-rule. Number 4, only 2 offices, pastor and deacon. The word elder in the Bible is not elder rule. It just means you're not a novice. Number 5, a local church calls their own pastor. He either accepts or rejects. Number 6, the local church chooses their deacons to serve over certain business that helps to relieve the pastor to stay in the word and lead spiritually. Number 7, best to rotate deacons off. Give them a year off. Give them a year off. I had 1 year, 2, 3-year terms. Number 8, deacons serve under the direction of the pastor. Number 9, a local church may exist with vacant offices. And I was asked that question last week, in fact. But if you have the office of pastor and office of deacon, and they're not filled, that doesn't mean you're not a church. Doesn't mean that at all. So a local church may exist with vacant offices until you fill those offices. Some churches don't have men qualified to be deacons. That's fine. You understand that. So you keep winning souls, keep going until you have somebody qualified. Number 10, last point. Aren't you proud of me? Number 10, no such thing as a denomination in the Bible. That's the conclusion. There's no such thing as a denominational body. Hammond is not our headquarters. Murfreesboro is not our headquarters. Longview, if anybody's going to be headquarters, it'll be Jacksonville, Florida now. Now, I'm just saying, there's no such, I'm joking now. No such thing as denomination in the Bible. Not Hammond, not Longview, not Jacksonville, not Murfreesboro. Oh, one time I received a call. I just moved here. And there was an issue with a staff member here. The pastor took care of it. The church took care of it. Now I'm getting calls now from an evangelist who says to me, you better talk to the pastor. You better talk to him. That's when it first started boiling. You better get him straightened out with the staff. I said, wait a minute. I'm not the pastor here. You're not the pastor here. You're not even a member here. What are you doing telling me? Well, it's going to hurt us nationally. Well, forget that. I want to go by the Bible. Oh, he said, now another friend's going to call you, and you better help us now. And I didn't answer the phone next week. I waited 2 weeks to finally answer it. Mr. Big Shot calls and says, you better talk to the pastor. It's going to hurt fundamentals. No. You don't understand. This is not a union. It's a question of unity. And if this local church has decided this is under the leadership of the pastor and the deacons, but this is the way to handle it, ain't none of your business. So get upset if you want to, mad about it if you want to. But the truth of the matter is, it's none of your cotton picking business. Because of this fact, this is not a union, but unity. I'm trying to leave on a cheerful note here, but it looks like it's going to happen. God bless you. I hope this helps you a little bit. And please subscribe. Minister Moments every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Bob Gray Sr. Please subscribe and tell friends about it. It's not a sermon. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just going to try to deal with issues that come up as I travel. Got 7 million air miles with American, and I travel almost every week. I'll be 80. Let me know. Do you think I ought to cut back a little bit? God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this. And I hope you'll join me and tell your friends about it. Ministry Moments every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time.